Join us, Project Bramble, episode 3, part 2. Come on in. Do you want to see how this ended up like this, full of holes? Keep watching. Come on in. It's like a colander. Steady, steady, steady. I can see everything. The car's going to be wonderful.
Welcome to episode 3 of Project Bramble. I don't know what all this is about. Anyway, Pete's flipped. The car's been stripped. Let's have a look how it is when it comes out of the dip.
Yeah, keep going. Just let the air go out of it. Okay. See if air goes out.
Control. Yep. Right you are. Come on. Control. Cortina section scramble! Oh no, I forgot the keys. Keys. And the helmet. Chelsea, the helmet. Hey, the helmet. You can't go in there. I need the helmet. Health and safety. We've got to get the dippers. Come on. We're on board the camera car and Andy Livesey's at the controls today. Just minutes away now, guys, from picking the shell up after the dip, so it's a scramble to the dipping company, and we are minutes away to see if it's dissolved, see what's left of that shell after this long process. We've been waiting now just to get it in the time frame, just to get it into the available slots at the dippers, who are very busy, so you do have to book well in advance, which I didn't, so it's my fault, but at least it's ready now. We can come and have a look. Round the back streets of Preston we go, across the West Coast main line, old railway type building looking there, and we're coming up now. Project Bramble then, shell is out the dip, we're about to roll up. Any minute we should see our transport guy as well ready, and a basic pile of rust. I can't see it. There's another shell. I don't really know what's going on.
Oh, some stuff.
Rover. Oh, there's loads of stuff. It's packed.
Skyline.
I think it's a Nissan Skyline, yeah. There's Dave there.
I'll pick it up from that side.
Right, what you think on this? Push it on. Once we've got it squared up, we can put them rubber wheels on and it'll roll up easier then.
I'll lift it up. Don't fucking about it. You only that piece of foot that piece of wood that's
Just move down here, it'll put top and watch the road and then...
Stream, if you want to go faster, any more riders? 10p your next ride.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Got some bits.
They'll do. Where do I start then? Hang on, lads. I've got a great idea. door going down, David.
It's not around with the speed city.
Yeah. Didn't you used to like old cars?
It's immigrated.
That's the Krypton tuner, Dave. That's the hotline. That's the hotline. And then months later he said, "It took it glass, everything full of holes." Just over there.
I thought they was going to pay 2 million for an automatic DB5, and that got straight.
Yeah.
They hoping for the bodgy or for the filler at the front, he'd have some. They paid 2 million quid for it.
Well, we've got Iron Maiden on the radio, so that's going to help me. It is madness, as the Iron Maiden song rightly says.
Why somebody cut it all, right?
Oh, let's have a look. It's news to me.
Good square hole there.
Wow, what's going on here? How strange. Oh no, I did that to get the socket, to get the wing mirror post out without damaging the sun visor. So I had to free it, it was seized in, so I cut it out because I knew the roof was going. See,
I reckon that's been drilled in because it's already got holes. Because it's to let the air out, I think, hasn't it, when they dipped it, I think.
cheeky buggers drilling me roof. Dirty. Can I play with madness, Andy?
I know.
It's a colander, isn't it? Who make colanders? Who's that? Home? Where? Addis.
Skyline. Addis.
Addis. Yeah, Addis. Addis thinking of colander.
All over you.
They carry the big silly check with them on the trip. Under their arm.
That is funny. Where do you get these stories? You couldn't make that up, could you? Right.
It is, I didn't seem to understand the
Yeah, it's control here. Send me everything you've got. Everything. Everybody! It's worse than I thought. I've only got a Granada repair manual. Anybody? Henry? Henry! Henry! I need panels, I need so many panels. I need sills, inner sills, quarter panels, bulkheads, floor panels, roof panels, B pillars, C pillars, A pillars, boot floor, inner quarters, rear, front lower balance, front upper balance. Hello, is there anybody there? Come in, this is control. Help us. I've only got a 4 Granada body repair manual. They've left us with nothing. This kit these days. Get me out of here!
How you feeling, boss?
Like shit, man. We've got to do it, haven't we? It's a bit echoey in here. The shells just rolled in. You saw that door go up. You saw the hotline there, but we're actually in now. Forget all the road trips. Forget all the fun, all the hijinks and the jolliness. Now it's time to get serious. We're back with the body shell. Took long enough. Here it is, and the question everyone's going to ask me first probably is, better or worse than you thought? Worse than I thought, because of the bulkhead, not for any other reason other than the bulkhead, because it's managed to find rock that I never spotted. Let's come and have a look at it first. We'll start the bulkhead. Just, it's like a colander. I mean, I need to refer to my 1976 mail order catalogue and find the Addis colander in there, because if you want to make pasta, mix it and drop it on there and tilt the shell up, and it'll drain your water off quite nicely. So we're shot, and we're echoey as well, by the way, so you'll have to put up with the echo noise because of the noise of this. Shot along there and shot there, but good points, and we'll have to concentrate on the good points. You've got to, in a situation like this, just think, right, what have we got? Not what you haven't got, what you've got. Lovely scuttle. Could have been a nightmare. Very hard panel to get. I think Express are making them now, but there's a lot of spot welds along that scuttle. It can be taken off, and you need to often do that to get to the inner scuttle. But the inner scuttle is good. So we have, here is solid. Alright, dash, forget it, it's not a problem. Here's solid. This part of the bulkhead into the central area there is good. This can be plated, so we're going to have to make a shape. Or I have got another bulkhead facing panel off the Portuguese one, but it is left on drive. It might not invert, but it might flip round. We'll have to check, because that'll be printed the wrong way. Anyway, regardless of that, localised repairs on there because it's still solid. So what we originally intended to do is going to be done in whereby you work outwards from the solid metal, or inwards from the solid metal till you close the gaps. So yeah, bulkhead's not escaped. It was too good to be true. Inner wings, then I'm going to move towards the front first. Great section here where the battery trays caught a dirt trap that's rotted through. Lift out the battery tray, you can get them for 25 quid brand new, so that's no deal. Lift, then we'll have to plate repair and blend in nice sections. These inner wings are staying on because they are pretty good. So great, the inner wings haven't dissolved. Go to that side, Andy will show us the chassis stamp now. If it was really bad, there'd just be a big hole here, because normally that's what happens, you can't read that. That shows you that it's in good order around that area anyway. So we're good there. This inner wing's nice too. So that's just like a new piece of metal there. Chassis legs themselves, up until it gets lower down, plenty of metal to work with. We've got the pieces off the Portuguese shell to do some repairs here. So that's it. What I'm going to do with the front end is take it off. Just imagine your car's had a crash in the 70s, and that's what they'd do. They'd lift this front end. So breaking apart the spot welds there might be a little braze joint on this, but we'll take that off. Both sides. Then I'm going to take the whole front end off and just leave the two chassis legs in place. Then I'll do the chassis leg repairs, get the suspension clip and offer it up into the frame so we get perfect alignment on the chassis leg lower, subframe lower mounting points. Got a whole new front end. You saw the panels in Patreon land anyway, you saw some of the panels. We've got the whole front end, including a slant panel, upper lower valance, lower valves and the box section piece. So it's actually quite simply built at the front. You just take off this whole assembly area away from the forks and bring it out, get rid of it, and then offer up your new front end, which we'll just build and place in position, making sure we get the relative distances on the slam panel to the skull, so the bonnet's going to land properly and the wings will land properly. So before we actually weld anything up, we'll just tack it in place, put the wings on, put the bonnet on, and get all this front end done. So we're going to push backwards. We're going to start from the front and push back. So let's imagine that front end's going to be done. I can imagine that's at the tops a month's work, but I reckon I could do that pretty quick because I've got all the bits ready. Clean metal to weld with. Okay, so if you look at the finish on it, it's so aggressive, the dip process, that there are no prisoners. Whatever rot was on this is now, that's it. It's shown. So you can't escape it. I mean, it's even pinholed that. I mean, that looked all right. Let's have a look here. Well, like a sieve here. Each one of them will be MIG'd, then ground back, MIG, grind back, MIG, grind back. Copper plate at the back. Because it's just pinned. I knew we'd get pinholes. So loads of repairs to get this. Take that off, get some metal shaped and brought down. Using this as the template, using this as the solid metal. There is enough solid metal to be working with. So it's a lot of localised repairs on that. So that covers more or less the front end. Let's move into the centre. And I hope that you sat down because things are bad. We've rotted through the outer edge of the skull as well, bulkhead as well here. Which is disappointing because I'm going to have to, well, that would have had to come off anyway, but that's quite a big repair on the far left hand side of this panel. Scuttle, we can fix those local holes. MIG. This repair I've done before, I did this on Ruby, up to about there on Ruby, it was about the same damage. If you look back on the videos you'll see it. So a nice easy shape to make, to fix that. That's quite a nice relaxing bit of fun. getting your metal, shaping a V, tapping it, welding it, and smoothing it all in. That'll be fun to do. So you look at that as one job, look at that as an afternoon's job. That's what you keep doing. Right, we're in the middle. It's pretty shocking. Massive holes in the floor. Looks like it's been like shrapnel damage, really. But don't forget, you've got to break it down into sections. So now switch your mind away from all what we've just discussed and just get a frame, like you're taking a sizing up a photograph, and just go, right, what is my task this week or the next 2 weeks or even the next month? Don't think about anything else about the car. Do not even let the car come into your head, because you'll crack. It's as much a mental challenge as it is a welding challenge. So I'm just going to say, right, there is a square. It even rhymes. I've got to make my mission to make that area of the car, nowhere else, absolutely mint. So that's all you do. Now it interacts with other panels, so you've got to plan ahead, because one job can jump into the next in terms of it being adjoining. So you have to think what other panel's going to have to go in first before you did it. Same on that side, that's just as bad. So there's one area. Now, as always with a Cortina, the middle's the last bit to go, and you can work outwards from that. So this centre transmission tunnel is perfect. It's a completely solid central section. The trouble starts just outboard of the chassis legs on both sides, a little bit more on this side where the rot's got through the broken roof. Some damage on the cross member, but again, that'll be locally repaired. To this section, here's not too bad. I've got the outer floor repair panel which goes along the whole run, which will cover most of that. This hasn't pinholed, which I'm really pleased about. Swampy, I had to replace that. Obviously, Mike did a lot of that. On here, it hasn't got that far out, or rather in from the outside sill inwards. These circles are in remarkably good condition, even on Bramble. Sorry, I always get mixed up with these names. On Ruby, if you watch, I had to cut quite a few of these circles out because they'd corroded and lost the definition, but these are actually really good pieces of metal. That imprint there, they normally start to like eat out from them, and it hasn't done it. That's one less job to do, so I'm concentrating on what I can that's positive. And don't forget, we want it to be a bit bad, because it's more fun in terms of entertainment anyway. It isn't in terms of time and money. We're now heading towards the back, and he puts the camera through the rear window and just gives you a little overview. Very easy to catch yourself on the sharp edges. I've got a whole new boot floor. This is what worried me. I needed this to have survived, this piece. It was very important that that had survived. Now it's lost its edge to attach the boot floor, so we're going to have to make that edge back so when the boot floor comes in it can sit on it. But this section, we're lucky, because if we've lost that, we're in trouble. The inner wheel tubs are great, look at them. Lose a little bit on the lower edges, but we're all alright on the parcel shelf structure as well. Again, more reference material, more good metal to attach things to. So again, you'd look at that area, there's another month's work, or whatever it's going to be, it could be quicker. Parcel shelf, there we have it, they never rot anyway. Parcel shelf's in good order. They are on most Cortinas, it never really sees anything. What gets the trouble is this piece here. So we can see what damage it's got in this corner. That'll be fun. Again, if that's solid, and that edge is solid, then you can get your metal in. And you can get your metal in there, just. Don't have to do, that's quite intricate stuff. It's not messy or loads of fumes, or it's not like a big job, it's just loads of intricate handiwork doing them shapes. It's not like a mammoth task, it's just lots of messing around, tapping and getting the shape. And it's very satisfying when you do those kinds, because you can do it and look at it and say that's all back to how it was. So I enjoy doing that kind of repair. Underneath it's the wing that's coming off, that's the wing which I'm pinching there, just fits underneath this lip. and the quarter wings are coming off it. Let's say that's fixed, the rest of it's good, all the way along, hasn't rotted. Some perforations, but nothing compared. If you look at the videos, how much crap was in there, and it's only done that, and that's the most aggressive test you could put on it. So I thought that would have peppered all the way along with all the soil that was lodged in this, but it's only done those local. Again, we could probably get the MIG in and fix that. You won't be able to dress this weld on the inside because I can't get in, so we're going to have to just MIG. Then if you were to put a camera inside, you're going to see that someone's repaired it. There's not much you can do, and that's never going to happen, but I'll know it's there. It'll annoy me a little bit, but I'll live with it. Back end, got a new panel for that, new quarters, new boot floor. Funnily enough, the chassis legs here will go underneath in a minute, but they're good. So you can use them to sit the boot on. Did that on Swampy. Oh, that just looks like a bomb's gone off. Look at that. Come bring that in there, Andy. It's just peppered. I'll go underneath. And I'll give them a view underneath here. Andy, do you want to... Hey, look, you can pass it out. See, they think of everything, Ford. They really do think of it. Thank you, Ford, for thinking of us like that. That's that chassis leg. Well, I was going to buy one of these. It's not even pinholed the chassis leg at the back until you reach here where the panel fold causes the moisture trap. So we're going to have to get that fixed. Can the camera pick up? I'm sorry if that didn't focus just then. Let's take you back in case that didn't focus. There you go. So you just have no boot floor now and these sticking out. Then you sit it on top. You can see why we don't really want to keep the boot floor. This chassis leg again survives in one complete piece, so we can keep that. We go to some damage here. We need to look at this. Again, we can learn the art of repairing those pieces in as long as the rest of it's okay. That's the thing with dipping it, it takes no prisoners. Here, you can see now evidence of it deforming. We're going to have to get that repaired. Each area will be treated separately, and then we'll work our way and fix it. Do you think it's worse than what you were going to see? Are you enjoying the film so far? Join us as we're underneath now. Echoing a little bit. I think more or less, other than the bulkhead, it's what I expected to find. Everything's just reference material. You might say, well, there's nothing left. But each piece gives you your reference for the next piece, so you can replace one, and it gives you relative positions. It's a guide. A lot of the metal's going to be gone, but it's a guide. Without this shell, even as it stands now, we wouldn't be able to just... It'd be a lot harder just to build a shell from scratch. Or you might say it's easier to build a shell from scratch, but you need the dimensions, you need the jig, the references, and this is just going to be taken to pieces, and most of the metal is going to be gone. Apart from that central run, of course, will be virtually untouched. Taking you down the central run, as you can see, no pinholes in that. So we're working outwards as well as from the front end. I walk around then with me and Andy for Patreon. This video clip goes directly up to Patreon, and then you'll see that I'll begin editing the pickup of the shell and a little mini road trip that we went on with the shell. Let's go back and walk around the car one more time. Here's something interesting. The punch for the upper front balance panel has missed the actual punch to put the grill tab locating slots has missed the indent. See how they have an indent there? That slot should be sat inside that indentation, so it's gone in the machine wrong. It's got a panel over here to compare it to. These are Ruby's seats, bramble seats, and you'll see on this panel, well, it hasn't even got the indents on. That's a different panel. That's weird. That's different. This is a Ford panel, so there you go. differences all the time. Here's our first panel to go on when we're ready. Just to see how solid the metal is, we had quite a large hole just to the top left. I've just migged that up. I've quickly croc sanded it down. It still needs a little bit, but because the dipping destroys anything, your next piece of metal is solid, as opposed to if you just sanded it down or if you just soda blasted it. You've still got, you might see a third of that hole. Whereas, and then when you start welding, you reveal the remainder of the weak metal, but the dipping takes away to the next bit of strong metal. So I know that I can mig that up and it isn't going to chase back, especially if you have copper at the back. So one plugged up, and then it's quite a few to go, but it's probably a couple of hours to repair that piece. Obviously this will need metal in it lower down, but I'm just talking about pinholes at the moment. So a few little bit of experimentation going on before we get into the full swing. I'm completely out of control. We've took massive hits at the dippers. There's holes all over the place. The airframe's peppered. It's like a colander from 1976. Addis are on it. They want to sponsor me. Help! Get me out of here. This is Big Duke 6. Big Duke 6 taking heavy hits. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Going down. Guys, glad you liked, we're a bit echoey, glad you liked episode 3 part 2. It's all over. You leave me now to do episode 4 and get some welding going on there. We're going to be doing a lot of late night revision and to see if we can improve our welding techniques. But we said we'd concentrate on the good things. Look at this shape, Andy, it's perfect. Wow, I mean that's normally just boom and you're through, and bump, and these 8 panels. Look, because it looks like it's just come out of the box, look. I mean, that's just, you know, a small repair piece here. There's your whole 8 panel job done. And I can just fix that there. And this will only take a few minutes to do. And I'm going to just put a plate on that, and we've got a new roof to go. We can do that next weekend. And then we're going to build holes in the ground, big tunnels, and make a city. A whole new world underground we can build, no problem. I've got 2 spades and a barrow outside, and we're gonna tunnel under and build a whole new city. And in between, we'll be doing the body shell. Catch you soon. That,
Yeah.
Should we shake that?
Yeah.
That's budding. That's budding. It shouldn't be budding. The weather's gone mad. The tree's re-budding. Things we do for Cortina City.